As a gardener, I'm always thinking of the future of what I want to plant and the seasons. But as an animist, it's really on my mind thinking about what I'm planting, and that includes a lot of native plants. And I'll tell you why. Stay tuned. Hi everybody, welcome back to another video by Plant Society. I'm Sherry, and today I want to talk about why it's so important to plant native plants where you live. The first reason is chemicals. And in this category, I'm going to include herbicides, fertilizers, pesticides, insecticides, all of that. And that's because with monocultured plants, like lawns and specific roses and things like that, specific flowers, you need all of that for them to survive because you're forcing them to grow in an area that wasn't designed for them. So you're creating a culture and an environment for them to thrive instead of putting plants that would naturally thrive in those places. So with native plants, you really don't need all of the chemicals. The second reason is resources. With native plants, you actually really don't need to water. They take care of themselves because they know the seasons, they know the rainy times, so you don't have to worry about droughts. If you plant them around your home, you'll notice that your yard is actually naturally cooler. So whether you have shrubs or trees, if you're planted very well and going with the land, it takes care of itself, and you'll notice that it's nicer out in your area by a few degrees, and everything kind of takes care of itself. The third reason, and as an animist, this is probably my favorite reason, is it provides shelter for wildlife, and it provides food as well. If you notice people that have just big lawns and no other plants, there's not a lot of wildlife in their yard. But if you plant with native plants, you'll have rabbits, gophers, squirrels, like everything. Your yard is just completely alive, and it provides a safe haven and a place for food for all these animals to come, live, raise their babies, eat. And so it's much more beautiful, and it's a more cohesive way of living. The fourth reason is better resistance to local weather, the seasonal changes, when droughts happen, when diseases come through. Native plants are prepared for all of this. They're grown here, they live here, they know the seasonal changes. Whereas if you have other types of plants that are not native, you once again have to baby them through these seasons, or you're forcing them to grow in a way they're not meant to. So it just becomes a whole mess and struggle. It's less work if you plant native plants. The fifth reason is native plants, for the most part, are non-invasive. A lot of them just exist in their own little spots. They spread out where they, in smaller groupings. So it's not like if you look, most places in the US have kudzu. Kudzu is not local to the US, but it is everywhere. And that's because there's nothing to combat it, but also it's an invasive species. Same thing with mimosa trees, which are medicinal, but still invasive. They're everywhere. Wisteria, Chinese wisteria is the same way. So there's beautiful plants out there, but they also just take over. And if you notice, they kind of will kill everything around them. So they destroy what's native and what's local to your areas. And those plants don't actually feed anything or house anything. So it does a whole number on the ecology where they're at. And number 5, it helps you be a better steward to the earth and the planet and to the local wildlife. It's definitely deepening for animism practices when you're out there actually taking care of everything, understanding how things work, learning the life cycles, and you do that all through careful planning and dealing with native plants. So I hope this encourages you to try planting with local plants. If it's daunting for you to start, just start with one. That's it, just one. And check in with your local botanical gardens or gardening groups, because a lot of them, like big box stores, don't carry local because they don't buy for the regions really where they're at. It's a a whole other thing. But if you talk to botanical gardens, get books from your local library, local gardening groups, somebody out there will help you figure out which plants work better where you live and then where they go. And you'll notice, like, over time, there's gonna be a change and a shift. You're gonna have animals come in. It's gonna be beautiful. Your yard's gonna take less energy to take care of and less maintenance. And it's all over a whole just big ball of happiness. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time in the next pan video.